The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hey, welcome everybody to Sunday night into the night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I want to thank you, PRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, for allowing me to give you 2 hours from 8:10 to 10:10 p.m. on that platform. My other show is Tuesday nights, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. But my God, is it hot? I mean, seriously. It's just hot. See, I was complaining because it was too cold a couple of weeks ago, and now it's hot. But all in all, it's okay. I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than 30 degrees, you know. See, when you get old like me, right? When you get old like me, you know, stuff hurts. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Ramey. But tonight I have a great show. You know, I've been thinking about doing this show for a long time now. And I know there's some podcasts out there that do role playing and stuff like that. But since this is Sunday night and it's my open show, I was thinking of doing Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. It is a role playing game that is done on a table. Okay. And all I know is that my guest tonight, my brother Patrick, has been doing it for a very, very long time. Okay. And I just want to get the basics down to it. I don't know if a lot of my people who watch the show role play in Dungeons and Dragons, that plays Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know. Okay. But I know for me, will be a learning experience tonight for this. I just would sit back. He'd come home from role playing, and the next day he'd talk all about his characters that he used to, you know, roll or whatever. He'll get more into that later on tonight. But I'm really looking forward to this. But I have I have a little commentary that I need to talk about. Okay, the other day someone sent me this link or to two people who I think are the most obnoxious assholes out there in today. Okay. And what they did was totally uncalled for. I'm not going to mention names, but a lot of people who listen to my show know who I'm talking about. And what they did was part of this thing that was sent to me, this picture, was they were saying witches are bad. Okay. And what really bothered me the most about the whole thing, okay, what bothered me the whole most of all was there was a picture of a lady burning at the stake. Who gave you the fucking right to do that to people who really care and cheer for you? Excuse my language. Okay. No. Oh, you did have friends. Okay. Um, and you really hurt, you know, not just, not just, you know, the the people who took you under their wing, who helped you out in so many ways. And just because you had a little freaking bird up your butt, you want to go and you want to send that to them. Huh? So you're an asshole for doing that. And if you want to come on my show and you want to take me on one, you're feel free. Feel free. If you want to, great. That would be awesome. But if you don't go around spreading hate because you had a bird up your butt. Yes. You have no right to talk about, hey, Kara, you have no right to talk about different groups or what their beliefs are just because you had a bird up your ass. And I'm calling you out now. And you know who I'm talking about. And you know who you are. If you're man enough, you would go and apologize to them. And not only did you affect, hey, Carrie, and not only did you hurt your ex-friends, I guess you can say, you hurt every other witch, all witches all over the world. Okay? And dude, that's some badass karma on you. I'm telling you, you shouldn't have done it. Hey, Johnny, you need to apologize. And that's it with the rant. But, okay, so back to the show. Thank you for letting me bitch. All right, so Dungeons and Dragons was the world's first tabletop role-playing game. Was created by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson in 1974. It revolutionized the game industry by shifting focus from large-scale military armies to individual heroes, birthing a culture phenomenon that deeply influenced modern video games. In the early beginnings, prior to D&D, tabletop gaming was dominated by historical miniature war games, which simulated battlefield compact using figurines in 1971. Gary created Chainmail, a medieval battle simulation rulebook that eventually included an optional 15-page fantasy supplement featuring dragons, wizards, and magic. At roughly the same time in Minnesota, game designer Dave Arneson experimented with a local game called Braunstein. a free-form game where players controlled single characters in a persistent storytelling environment. Arneson blended his open-ended narrative ideas with Gygax's combat and fantasy rules from Chainmail, creating a new type of cooperative campaign-style game. So that's where it all started back in 1974. And I'm telling you, from what my brother has told me, you know, we talked a little bit about it. I'm telling you, it's just fascinating. That's why I have him on as a guest tonight. And without further ado, most of y'all know my brother, but for the people who don't, hey, Mish, my brother, Mr. Patrick Kelly.
Woo!
Hey, brother.
Woo! Yay, he's here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody, I'm here.
How are you tonight?
I am phenomenal. I am on, if it was a D20, I'll be a 20.
Okay. Whatever the hell that means, dude. So tell us a little background on how you got into Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, 1982, 83, I went and joined the Navy. And that's where I was learned how to play Dungeons and Dragons out in the middle of the ocean on 6-7 months cruises. And that's all we had to do was play Dungeons and Dragons. So I learned a lot from that. That's where I first was introduced. And then getting back to port. I'm sorry, what?
Mish says we see who's the oh, what the hell everybody said. Hold on. Okay, Mish said, and she's from Australia. She says, we see who the talented one of the family is.
Yeah, it's me.
Kevin says, hi, Patrick. Joni says, hi, Patrick. Mish says, good
Hi.
day, Patrick.
Good day, mate. Get some shrimp on the Barbie. Have a Frosters.
Kara says, I have an ex-boyfriend that plays. Okay. She's laughing, dude. But so back in 1984, when you were in the Navy, that's where you learned how to play Dungeons and Dragons. Did you kind of like do it because you wanted to, or did you see?
I saw them playing. I saw other crew members playing, and that's what I wanted to do. And we used to play, damn, you think you're going to play for like an hour or two, but you end up playing 8 to 10, maybe all night playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's just that fun.
Carrie says that D&D was released in 74. It was in 74, Carrie. And Carrie was born that year. Kara says, hi, Patrick. And Mish says, stick your shrimp. Whatever the hell that means. That's Australian talk for Mish.
Yeah. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
It's going to be a fun 2 hours. Isn't that the game they played in Stranger Things? I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, that's what they played. Yes. I've never seen that.
How easy was it for you to join the D&D club on board the ship?
It was easy, but I recommend anybody who is starting out, don't come in with a high character, like a 12th level fighter, or 10th level. Come in at a 1st or 2nd level character. Build your character up that way, and then you make your own being a hero. But if you're coming in as a high level character, like 8 to 12, you don't actually know what kind of attributes that you have. You're just looking at your page. So that's all you're doing. Now, they do have one-shot games where you come in playing a 20th level something, a monk or a fighter, cleric, and it's just a one-shot game.
Joni McGillick says my brother used to play D&D. So you go in. So can you do me a favor and explain to my people out here, what was it? A high person, or
Okay,
is that
they
one of
have
the
dice
mistakes that
rolling.
the people make?
Yeah, like if you start off as like a first or second level character, you get to learn your strengths and weaknesses, and you can build your story, your heroship, or whatever you want to be at first and second level. Now, if you come in at a 7th or 8th level, there might be spells or weapons that you don't know how to use. But if you gain them like a 3rd level, you get a +4 sword, or something, or a wand of magic missile. Then you know how to use that when you become that level. But if you're come in at an 8th and 10th, hey, I have a wand of magic missile. What does this do? And then you destroy your whole campaign. Like, huh?
Have you ever done that?
Oh hell yeah, I love it. I'm Captain Chaos.
Captain Chaos, so I guess this is what they gave you, huh?
Yeah. But
So
I'm sorry, what?
Who comes up with the storylines? I know that you and the boys you role play with or D&D with, they make up their own games. Is that true?
Yeah. The guys I've been playing for about 20 years now. Both of them played up at Penn State. My friend Rao, he has his own world. He has different houses that you can belong to, almost like Hogwarts. Or, you can be with any house. You can be a fighter. I mean, he just has everything going down to specific. Okay, there's a grocery store. I'm going to go in the grocery store. He has every character in there already made up on paper.
That's crazy. Johnny Conley says, hold that thought. John Conley says, hey, cousins. John from Ambridge says, hey, John, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Johnny boy.
Yeah, so he has a supermarket full of characters?
Well, no, he has like different bars, taverns, stores, tailors, seamstress, hotels, motels, leather maker, chainmail maker, weapons maker, potion maker, druid, it's like a junk store where you can go in and buy anything you want to buy. What's there, like a fork or something on that lines. But he has characters for each individual place that he has.
That's insane, dude.
And Mike, my friend Mike, is the same way. Mike is a little bit more in depth to it, because he gives. They're both phenomenal game masters. Everybody I played with, going back when I came in the Navy and out, like there was this guy Barry Link and John Burris. They did Backwaters of Mysticism. That was a fantastic gaming set. I also played Vampire the Masquerade, which was another game that was phenomenal. Boot Hill. There's all other types of games, but Dungeons & Dragons, to me, we are the OGs. We play first and second edition. Now they have 3.0, 3.5, 4, 5.0, and it's not fun. You have to be second edition or first edition.
And
that's how old I am.
Can you please, Johnny, it was part of the Satanic Panic because that was back in the 1980s. No, they didn't understand the role-playing games. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. But can you explain what you just said?
What do you mean?
What did you just say about the different game masters or whatever?
Oh yeah, each person that who's the dungeon master or the game master have their various ways of playing. Raul has one way of his set. He has more detailed on houses like Azur, Like right now, I'm playing from a House Orca. I am playing a fighter thief on Fridays. I'm a boxer, and plus I'm a thief. And I was a shipbuilder. So that's that. But he has every house is like Zur, Tekla, everything on that lines. There's like about 15 of them. Now Mike has his own world, but he writes down. He has like notebooks upon notebooks of every encounter that should happen, or whoever's there. Who's the sheriff? Who's his deputy sheriffs? Who's the magistrate? Everything going on like that.
Are you serious? I know Mike. I know Raul, man. I tell you what, that's intense. How do people, not just into, Carrie says, does Patrick meet with people old school, in person, or online meetings?
Friday nights. Friday nights, I do tabletop Friday nights with my guys. And also, Raul has his own world since Penn State. He did his own world up in Penn State. They've been playing both together since they both went to Penn State.
Jen says, I haven't played, but I could really get into a horror or eldritch horror focus campaign. Have you ever played those? Carrie says, impressive.
No, I've never played an eldritch. The games I've played have been Dungeons and Dragons, Vampire, The Masquerade, and that was about it. Those are two of my favorite games that I've played. I mean, I'll play other games, but Backwaters of Mysticism, Warhammer, I played those. But you got to make your own fun. You got to make your own character. You have to think outside of the box. You just can't be inside the box. Well, I'm a fighter. I'm going to go up and punch him. Outside the box. Like, hey, I'm going to come up and give him an uppercut, then a left hook. So you have to use your imagination, which is a lot.
Was that the same way that you played in the Navy? Were they like that too?
Yeah.
Were they better than Raul and Mike?
No, I don't remember, dude. That was back in the 80s. Come on now. I do remember my first character. He played a gnome illusionist, and his armor was socks. He wore socks as armor, and he thought that looked like plate mail. He didn't last long, but
yeah. Okay, so what you just said about your first character, can you explain to the people out there and in the chat room in layman's terms on what your first character was?
Everybody knows what a gnome is. It's a garden gnome. All right.
They know. Yeah.
That's one of the races in Dungeons and Dragons. The other races that you can play is you got a halfling, which are the hobbits. It's on that same line. And then you have the dwarven characters, and then you have elves, and then you have half orcs. Just remember looking through Lord of the Rings. Then you play a human. Then they got different classes of that. You could play a ranger. You could play a cleric. You could play a fighter. You could play a monk. You can play a thief. What else is there? A bard. You could play all these types of different characters. You just pick out the character that you want, and then you build on it. And that's where, all the game masters, and they help you. They push you along for little ways going on. But you got to also remember something. It's just a game.
What do you mean by that?
Don't bring it into reality. It's fantasy. And you could think about, hey, I want to do this with my character throughout the week like I do and a lot of other people do. If I did it this way or what we do throughout the week, but you don't bring it into reality. It is fantasy. You don't bring it into reality.
So do a lot of people do or try to bring it into reality?
That I don't know. I don't know if the percentage is low. You know, like you might have an armor class. So, like if you're wearing plate mail and you think you're unstoppable, and you try to bring that into the real world, and you think you can fight anybody, no, you can't. You know, and that's what I meant by you. It's fantasy. Keep it in the fantasy world. You know, be the anti-hero, be the Punisher. You know, be Wolverine, be Cyclops, be Harry Potter, Snipe, everything like that. Even in that's what you have to. But once you're done playing, once you drink your last bit of Mountain Dew, take some of the Doritos, and make your last shot into the darkness, then you leave. Then once you leave that door,
That girl. Okay, go ahead, bud.
no, then once you're done, you shut the door, and then you're back to normal life. You go to work, you 9 to 5, or whatever you do, you know. But there's no problem of thinking about what you want to do for the following week.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Johnny has a question. Do you use figurines when you play or the dice?
We use dice. Sometimes we use figurines if there's going to be a battle. Now, there's some games that that's what they want to do is figurines. But the guys I've been playing with for over about 20 years, he just tells us where we're at on the table and to go from there. But yeah, there are some figurines. I did have some figurines years ago when I was a youngin', and we don't use figurines anymore unless it's we need to, like if we're fighting a dragon or fighting Death Knights or something on that lines, a band of ninjas, you know, something on that lines. We'll use figurines.
Okay, Penny didn't. You answered this already, but Penny would like to know: do you still play? And if so, do you play online and have a group or link or get involved with playing this? He plays with. Go ahead, Pat. One more time.
One more time. I'm a boomer. I have no idea how working on computer and playing online and stuff like that. I don't. I really don't. I'm a boomer. I'm stupid that way. But when it comes to tabletop, which we play on Friday nights and some other nights, that's what I play is tabletops with the same guys I've been playing with probably about almost coming up on 20 years I've been playing with these guys.
Okay, Carrie says that's what happened in the 80s. People couldn't discern this reality to D&D world and had psychosis situations. That's true. I can see that. And Jen says 20 years exclamation. And he says, yeah, that makes sense. Switch hats and get back into reality. You made sense, Patrick. Awesome.
Holy shit, we'll call Mom. Tell Mom I made sense.
Hey, listen, everybody, it is at the 30-minute mark. We're going to go take a quick break for a couple hours and a couple minutes, and then we'll come back, and then we'll get into some more we'll finish up on the Dungeons and Dragons, and we'll get into this vampire scenario that he's got going on. So we'll see you. You know, you got to pee, go pee, have a cigarette, get a coffee, do what you got to do. And I'll see you back here in a couple minutes. Where are we at? We'll go this one.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I am on UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. I have two shows, Sunday nights from 8:10 to 10:10 p.m. and then Tuesday nights, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. That's only an hour show. But please remember, everybody, that this is a 2-hour show. Penny says, okay, my daughter plays Dungeons and Dragons, so I was curious if you played locally or how to get involved in tabletop. But I used to have the original game many years ago with all the figurines and a few times, and that was it. And then she says, thank you for letting me know. Penny says,
Okay.
Dawn,
Well,
good
Penny,
to see you, honey. Thanks for popping in. So
Well, the
my
best
guest
thing to
tonight is my
do-
brother. Go ahead.
The best thing for Penny to do for her daughter is to go to the nearest gaming store. I don't know where they live, but there's a gaming store, a GameStop or something on that lines, even to the local library. They will have games that they can put her daughter into point her into the right direction.
Thank you for that. Did you hear that, Penny? Just take her to the library or any GameStop, and they'll help her get
Gaming
Connect.
store,
gaming store.
any type. Yeah.
So everybody, my guest tonight is my brother Patrick Kelly, and we are talking Dungeons and Dragons and all kinds of other good stuff. My brother played since 1984, and he's been doing it for. She said, "Thank you so much." You're welcome, Pen. And he's been playing since 1984 when he was in the Navy, and he's been playing D&D for 20 years. And like I said at the beginning, before I started the show, when I first started, I always wanted to do a show on this. I really did, but all kinds of other different things came up, and I just really put it on the back burner. And I was like, last week, I'm thinking, why not do something on Dungeons and Dragons? And so I talked to my brother, and he was willing to come on. He misses you all. Don't let that grin fool you. Don't let that grin fool you. So I'd like to know is, where do these game masters come up with these scenarios?
Imagination. That's all I can say is imagination.
Have you ever did one?
Yes. Yes, I did. I still have my own world. I still have the characters that are in the world. I just come up because, people like us, we think outside the box. And, you might be thinking like at home or something, you want to write down a little story. If you have a character that you like, like the Punisher, just sit down, start writing a story about him. And then once you get like 3 or 4 pages, and if you want to bring in another character or something else that you want to play, or, thinking about bringing him in and write 3 or 4 pages, then we usually settle it, other than Rouse World as fantasy, is we always do our stuff in Pittsburgh. So because everybody knows what Pittsburgh is, where the Hill District, where Kennywood is, where Monroeville, everything like that.
Hey, that girl. Yeah, and I can understand doing that, but I remember the times we would talk Saturday, and you would come home, and I'd come home from work, and we'd sit down, and I was just in awe at all the things that you played. And what I was also in awe with was watching you build your characters, and what goes into building a character.
It depends on what you want to play. Like, if you want to play a thief, you start off at the lowest bottom of the totem pole, like picking pockets. But you have a goal in mind to be a master thief, like like the Pink Panther, to be the master thief. But you have to start off. Well, let me try it this way. Maybe there's like 8 different varieties of being a thief. You could be a cut purse. You could be a burglar. You could be a thug. You can be anything like that. So there's various. If anybody's interested, we go for a 2nd edition Player's Handbook, Book of Dwarves, and just looking them all up. And it's really interesting. You can see the different types of thieves that you want to play, different types of fighters. I mean, there's a thief book that there's a pirate if you want to play a pirate. It just gives you the basic needs of being a pirate. Then you build your own story. You think outside the box. You think inside the box. You think what does my character, like I want to play a character that wears silk shirts and has a lot of jewelry, or my character just wears like just nothing plain old armor. Not even that. If you have a mage or sorcerer, what kind of robes? What does his robes look like? Are they all gray? Are they all red? Are there stars with a big pointy hat on top? So that's basically it. You just have to have your imagination. One of what I do is one of my favorite characters that I ever played. His name was Seamus Tombstone O'Connor. And this was during the Backwaters game. He had a tattoo of a tombstone on his chest, his name and the date he was born, but the year he died, it was still empty. Well, I took him from, I don't know, we're old, so there was a movie called with Antonio Banderas, Desperado. I took his character about, the guns and the different knives. And also I took from The Shadow. Everybody remembers the original Shadow. But not the Alec Baldwin. So that's where I took characters from what I would like to play and from the movies or where I've read or something like that, and combine them and make them into a character that I would like to play.
And say like you make this, you can make this character however you want, and but there's stipulations that your character cannot do. Done by
that's why you roll the dice. That's why you roll dice. Like, hey, I'm going to take one of my throwing daggers and hit this guy in the back of in between the shoulder blades. So you roll your dice to hit. It depends on what the hit dice is. If you hit, you land a knife, but if you don't, if you fail, it just like bounces off something. So it's a lot of dice rolling too, and a lot of role playing. I prefer role playing and then combat, but there's some people that I game with that love combat more than role playing.
Can you explain the difference?
Yeah, role playing is like what we're doing here now. We are talking on a NPR or whatever it is, and we're role playing back and forth. You're role playing one of the best podcasters, and I'm playing one of the number one brothers anybody can have. So, that's role playing right there. But the combat will be like, well, I'm going to punch you in the face once I see you, because I don't like the way your yellow or gold shirt is. I don't like that. So I'm going to punch you, and then you're going to say, I'm going to punch you because you're too damn gorgeous. I'll be like, okay, I understand that. I understand.
Okay. Thanks for all those wonderful compliments, brother. I truly appreciate it. But I remember that character, and sometimes, Sean has more hair, or Sean has more hair. Yeah, we can go that way, Carrie. I'm getting it all cut off pretty soon. It is just too damn hot to have all this hair.
See, he has to follow what his brother's doing.
No,
he can't think for his own. He can't think for his own. He's got to shave his head off, and he's going to shave the beard off. But that's okay. I will never stop him from that because that's what a brother does. I will never bring that up but that's okay. It's him.
That's my brother. That's my brother. So, hello. Hey, Mr. Vogel. Good to see you, brother. Thank you. Um, so, you know, on this channel, on this platform, we do a lot of Bigfoot, we do a lot of paranormal, uh, all kinds of different things. Can you or have you ever heard of a game master making up a game, a scenario where you are doing paranormal or you're doing Bigfoot or cryptid hunting?
Oh yeah, we played that. Like there's a game out there, Vampire the Masquerade, which is old school. It's very old school. It's like 80s. You play. There's like different clans, and you play one of the clans. Then we also played in the backwaters. I played a Russian guy, an older guy that could see dead people, and I was very weak. My character was weak. He was, because that's all he heard was all the dead talking, and he wasn't much of a fighter. But if we ever got into a situation, I had like 5 different people that I would let into my body. Like I would have Rasputin, for being a mage. He'll come in, like, and take over my body and do what he has to do. I'll have a Cossack or somebody coming in, and that's the way I was able to stay surviving.
Oh, so you
when I let other ghosts into me.
That would be interesting. Kerry says he can't think with all that hair. He's like a chia pet. I'm a chia pet too. That's a good one, Kerry. And who loves you, baby? Who loves you? But no, I find it really, really interesting. And everybody, check this out. My brother, if he remembers, made a character for me. You remember?
Yeah, paranormal investigator.
I thought it was a werewolf hunter or a vampire hunter.
Same thing. You were investigating the paranormal, which was considered werewolves, lycanthropy, which are the same thing. Werewolves, vampires, ghosts. You were like the Constantine, the original Constantine, not Keanu Reeves Constantine. No, you were like the one dude from Marvel who's English. I forget his name. But yeah, that's the original Constantine. It was badass. Can I swear?
Yeah, you can swear. Just don't say the F word like I did earlier. I was just a little mad. All
right. No, but Constantine was badass. And I try to make a character like him, but there's no way I can build a character around the way he does it.
Around Constantine? Huh.
Yeah.
Carrie goes, my role play tonight is a comedian relief. Thank you. I just take tips through email or PayPal. Joni says, Dr. Strange, ?
Yeah. Doctor Strange and Constantine are on 2 different levels. If I would have to put up both of them, Doctor Strange would be a little bit more honorable than Constantine would. Constantine makes pacts with demons and devils, and he does black magic, but he does it for good. So
that's interesting. I didn't know that. And also, my brother's really big into the comics. What's your favorite, DC or Marvel?
Black Horse.
Who?
No, it's another Small Comics. I don't know. It depends on which character is which. DC, okay. Marvel, all right. There's a lot of them. My favorite characters coming is Daredevil, the original Daredevil, not Ben Affleck Daredevil. No, Ben Affleck as Daredevil. He just destroyed that character. Nope. And Bullseye, the Irish guy. Bullseye was a great one. And Lobo, he's DC. He's a great character. Batman because he's rich. That's about it. He has no superpowers. He's cool. He's rich.
So a lot of game masters, do they sometimes take and make scenarios based off some of the movies in Marvel?
Oh yeah, yeah, they do. You know, like when Batman was filmed here in Pittsburgh. You know, they were doing some of the research or doing when Hines Ward was running the ball down into the touchdown. You know, and the whole city of Pittsburgh was going around him. Yeah, we had after that series, after that episode or time happened, our characters would go and find like ghosts or people who died who hasn't moved on yet. And then like you have were-rats and were-bears and stuff like that. Yeah, so that was one of the scenarios what we had to do.
Kevin says Lobo is fun, LOL. And Penny McCann says that the Joker and Spider-Man were her favorites.
Nice. Okay, which Joker was her favorite?
Carrie says, is there a list of characters to pick like Constantine or Doctor Strange and build up those? Or does a newbie create their own? How does a person start, in other words?
Well, like I said, before when I had Sheamus, he was one of my original characters. I portrayed him through Desperado, Antonio Banderas, and Alec Baldwin's character, The Shadow. That's how I made his character up, by using both of their finer points on that. So if you want to make a character, say like the Ice Cream Man, you take his best things that you can do is like make ice cream, or like there's one character in DC, I think his name is by Bullseye. He hits everything with the bullseye. He could take a paper clip and nail you right in the middle of the head. So and no Daredevil, not Ben Affleck Daredevil. No, that's bad. We don't mention Ben Affleck Daredevil. No, he was not Daredevil. And then you have the original Wesley Snipes as Blade, which was actually the first Marvel character to save Marvel was Blade. Wesley Snipes' character.
Really?
Who's also Yep.
Okay, Kaysen. Yes, we're talking about D&D tonight, buddy. That's what we're talking about. And Robbie Kinsella says, "Hey boys, what's up, Robert? Good to see you, my best friend." And Johnny says that she likes X-Men.
Yeah.
Penny McCann
who's our
says,
favorite X-Men? Ask Joni who's her favorite X-Men.
Who's your favorite X-Man, Joni? Penny says the Banshee's still involved in the game like in the old original game. So what is stronger than her in the game? Go ahead, Pat. You can get that one.
What? Oh, I don't know what's stronger.
About
they
the
come
Banshee.
out. Banshee, yeah, every year they come out with more powerful for the Hulk or for whatever. So at her time, Banshee was a badass. Now there was nobody that can top her, except for Rogue. But now they're having all like Hulk is having more special powers. Wolverine has more special powers that are coming out that nobody knew about 5-7 years ago. So they're basically adding on powers to make them buffer, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, does to me. Carrie goes, okay, so the 100-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is a potential and build on that?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry for cussing. But yeah, that was one of my favorite people. He's a sailor. He's in New York. What do we got to do? Get him laid. There you go.
There you go. He said the F word. You're fine. You got to pay the fine. Nah, I'm joking. No, I find this pretty interesting so far, dude. It's just amazing that you could take any day any situation out of your day that happened to you at work or wherever,
Hmm.
you can actually do a scenario with it. I mean, I
Yep.
love Raoul to death, man, but I mean, doing all that role playing things, that would be kind of hard.
It is.
I'd be running out of things to say and things to do. I would
Well, that's why
probably,
it takes probably about 2 to 3 years just to get one game done. The longest
really
I've ever played one game was 7 years.
7 years.
Hmm.
Wow. Wow. I don't know. I don't think I could do that. Oh, Joni says Wolverine is her favorite.
Yeah, I can see. Well, my favorite is Rogue because if she touches you, she could take all your powers. So that's what I like about her. Then you got
And
Jean Grey, Jubilee, and who are you? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. But that's okay. I'm not going to say that out here on public radio. I will never do that.
mhm. But see, to me now, you and Joni got my mind going here. So the X-Men, I would think, would be more role playing D&D type of characters. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, they can play D&D. I mean, you can use their type of characters while playing Dungeons and Dragons, or the game mechanics from them.
Okay, so all right, so we got the game. You got your character, right? And now you see me and you want to like attack me or kill me. Go from there on what we do. Where you want to kill my character, what do we do?
Well, it depends on what character I have. I mean, if I had a guy that used psionics, I would just, like blow up every bone in your body,
No,
and
we'll go with your little thief.
who my gnome illusionist.
Yeah. So
My
what
gnome
would
illusionist. He'll just put illusions up in front of you, like you're fighting a dinosaur, and it's
Okay,
really
but-
it's up there.
So what do we do? Roll dice, or do you tell me I'm
Yeah.
putting an illusion up?
Yeah. Here, hold on. You have to have dice, by the way. You have to have dice. Like here, I don't know if you could see. This is a D20. That's a D20 dice. That's your hit dice and missing dice. Then we have D6s that you use, D10s, D4s, D8s, D12s. So if I wanted to hit you and I hit you with a 19 and I punch you and I got a good strength, I'll just roll like 2d6 and that's how much damage you take. Or if I wanted to come up, if we just boxing, or if I see you behind you, something on that lines. The fight scenes is like one-on-one. You know what? I'll put it to you better. Do you remember, all the old people will remember these, the old Bruce Lee movies when he would walk into a dojo and he would challenge, I fight you all! Come out, dojo! He pounds his chest and stuff like that. That's when you've got to fight because you'll be right in front of you and stuff like that. So
Okay.
that's one way to do the fighting. Or if you want to fight on ropes or rooftops or wherever you want to fight, there, we'll fight in a graveyard. You want to fight in a graveyard or wherever, and we just fight. We duke it out. If we have guns, we shoot guns. If we have knives, we
Not
use
real
knives.
guns, everybody. No real pew pews. That's what you have
No
to say.
real pew pews. Just fake
No.
pew pews.
Fake pew pews. I don't want to get in trouble for that because we can get in trouble for that. But
All right.
listen, we are coming up for our second break here in about 5 minutes. So what I want to do is ask you, Pat, to summarize Dungeons and Dragons for new people And how did Dungeons and Dragons help you with your life growing up?
Number one, use your imagination. Your imagination is unlimited. Think outside the box, and then think further outside the box. Also, Dungeons and Dragons in the Navy helped me get to know other people. Make my circle of friends larger or smaller, where I was able to communicate or hang out with other people who know what Dungeons and Dragons or other gaming. It helps you with your people skills and your writing skills, your thinking skills. But the imagination is the best thing that you can use when you're ever gaming.
And how did it help you?
Meeting people. And also taking out aggravation in the fantasy world, not in the real world. If you have a problem, like with somebody, bring it into the fantasy realm, and then once that's done, you're done. Leave it at the world.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Okay, so we are going on break. We come back from the second break, and that's all we're doing is 2 breaks tonight. I'm going to talk about LARPing. Okay, that's live action role playing, and my brother does LARP. He does live action. So when we come back, we'll get into LARPing. All right, so 2 minutes. When we come back, that's what we're going to talk about. So go pee, have a smoke, do a coffee, do what you got to do, and see you back in a couple minutes. Whew, is it hot?
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation. I have come, it's all losing my control.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. There's my brother that you're looking at. Okay, he has some technical issues here, so I'm resetting up his phone. I hope everybody's enjoying the show. Like I said, our internet's not really that good. Okay, so there. I'm going to enter the studio now. Devices. There you go. So
what do I do?
Just do
Okay,
that.
there we go.
Okay, he'll be down in a minute. All right. Okay, so is everybody enjoying themselves tonight? Hey, he's a hologram. Sean wants us to go pee and have a smoke at the same time. That's a hazard. That's true. Penny says great coping skills and communication skills too. Good show, Patrick. Great job explaining too, and great show, Sean. Thank you. Thank you. Now remember, Penny, we got another hour now. I don't know what's going on. Like the internet's all screwy. It really, really is. And he's getting back on again, so he's there in the back in the green room eating M&Ms, green ones at that. Okay. So I'm going to bring him back on. He's ready. Okay, Patrick, welcome back.
Yay!
Yeah, Penny was telling me she just wrote in the comments that it's great coping skills and communication skills too.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Good show, Patrick. Great job explaining too, and great show, Sean. Thank you." And Kevin goes, "Sean wants us to go pee and have a smoke at the same time." That's a hazard. And Kevin says, "You were hologramming, when I was fixing up your phone." So, so we're getting into the second hour here. Okay. And I might just take one more break about 20 to 10. I'm not sure yet. But now we're going to talk about LARPing. And LARPing, I don't know if anybody knows what LARPing is, but it's live action role playing. And my brother does play it. Can you explain LARPing and don't do what you were voted for?
Well, basically, LARPing is bringing your character to life. And there's a lot of LARPers going on, if you ever here it is, if you ever go to a Ren festival, Renaissance Festival, ever hear of them? That is a lot of LARPing up in there. If you go to any kind of cosplay, that's all LARPing on that. There was a gaming convention in Columbus, Ohio called Origins, and that's where I was doing most of my LARPing. There was also up by St. Vincent's College, there was a LARPing for Vampire the Masquerade up there, but it was just too far for me to go. It was like a 2-hour drive, and it was just too far for me to go, and it was out in the country, so it was pitch black, and you couldn't even see anything. So, but yeah, it was called Mind's Eye Theater, which is freaking awesome. The people are great, and that's where I played a Tremere, which is like a modern day vampire mage. You can.
What's a mage?
Doctor Strange.
Okay.
But you're a bloodsucker. You can't come out in daylight.
But isn't there some type of, because the vampire really, I'm really intrigued with the vampire, not so much the LARPing, but also the board game. Okay. Now I know you roll dice for both games and stuff like that, but when you are in the Vampire Masquerade, whatever it's called, do you actually build your character stronger than you would in Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, in Vampire, you're first bitten, so you're a neonite. You are just like brand new being a vampire. You have it maybe 6 months to a year, so you're still relatively a new vampire, a neonite. And then once you do gaming, you do various patrols or different scenarios. That's when you gain experience points. And then you could put those experience points into like drive, if you want to drive really well. Or if you want to fight really well. You put your experience points into fighting. There's over 25 different attributes that you can put it in. You got social skills if you want to be a social butterfly. You put it in etiquette. And that's how you build your character. That's what I like about second editions D&D and Vampire. Halfway through, if you wanted to be a fighter, or even in a Brujah, which is a clan in a Vampire, then, well, you can't do it in Vampire. But in D&D, halfway through, you say, well, I want to become a thief. So you start playing a thief, but you're also be a fighter. Now, you can't do that in Vampire, but if you... you start out as the Unite, then you work your way up basically to one of the top tier in the city. And again, mostly we did the Vampire Masquerade in Pittsburgh because everybody knows about Pittsburgh and everything like that. One of our major fights that we had with another vampires was in Kennywood. So, there was a vampire clan out in Kennywood, so we had to go out and fight them.
Now, for everybody who don't know who Kennywood is or what Kennywood is, it is like a major amusement park here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it's huge. And I'm just like listening to you, and I can imagine you guys duking it with other vampire clans on the racer.
Yeah. We did that one night.
The racer, everybody, is a roller coaster out in Kennywood. And it's really cool about the racer is that you got 2 roller coaster cars, okay? And it's all built on the same track. That's true. And but I mean, you could be on the damn Turtle. There's a game called the Turtle, right at the Turtle out there in Kennywood, and you'll be on the Turtle trying to fight other vampires. Have you ever? Okay. So say like you're doing role playing, the Vampire Masquerade. Okay. Who picks the vampires that you're battling against?
The Game Master. Like Mike is very good at being a Game Master in Vampire. I mean, he has all the different clans, everything going on like that. Well, Raul's more D&D. Mike is D&D, but majority of it is Vampire for Mike. And he sits there and he just makes it up. It may take about 4 or 5 months, or else like Rouse, we're using his world that he started out in Penn State back in the 80s.
That's crazy, dude. That'd be like Mad Max Thunderdome.
Yeah.
That would
and
be.
If you want a character to play Mad Max, you can play a character that like Mad Max.
It's just it's mind-boggling, but it's not mind-boggling to me. When you talk about the characters, when you talk about the game that you're doing, the scenario, it's what impresses me the most, okay, is how people can just come up with these scenarios in their head to start this game.
But what also is you being a player character, your actions also add to the game.
Oh, that was too much for me.
Your character that you're playing adds to the gaming world in either Vampire or Dungeons and Dragons. When Dungeons and Dragons, your character wants to go certain ways, so you're building your character that way. So Raul will pop up, or Mike will pop up something that your character needs to do to perform whatever kind of activity that he needs to do. It's a lot about nothing.
No, that kind of like makes sense. Kind of like makes some sense there. But I don't know. I just find it really, really fascinating. And I don't know. See, you gave me some questions that you wrote down that you wanted to ask me. But with the live action role playing, is that where you get to meet a lot of people? I mean, are
Yes.
they like downright duking it out because you
No,
like
most of it is they use deck of cards, or they do the rock paper scissors on that. That's if you wanted to fight somebody in LARPing, you do rock paper scissors, or whoever draws the highest card, they win or stuff.
so that's how they do it. But they're all in costume, are they not?
Yes.
Well, how many LARPing games go on at a convention?
Usually there's one and it lasts the whole weekend.
Okay.
So yeah, you start off at a story. But I'm going to pat myself on the back. Me and this one guy, he was from Columbus. Good guy. Now, this is going back years ago. This is like maybe 20 years ago. We sat down at a table and we figured out within an hour and a half, the whole scenario, the whole game, everything that was supposed to happen within an hour and a half. White Wolf, who was a vampire, who like ran vampire and all that, they got mad because we figured out the last. They're looking at us and they had to change the whole ending on the scenario because when the first hour and a half, we figured it out.
That ain't cool. So talk about these conventions that you go to, that you went to. Give us, I mean, there's all kinds of conventions, but are these D&D or vampire?
Oh no, it's everything. They play Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of card games. Yu-Gi-Oh! They play Pirates of the Caribbean. No matter what, it's just phenomenal. Think of any card, Warcraft. That's a big game. I think it's Warcraft. Not too sure. But yeah, they have sometimes people there like you pay to get their autograph. But yeah, mostly it's just different ballrooms or different games where you go in there and you can play a certain game that you want to play. Like Cobalts Ate My Baby. That's a game.
What is it?
Cobalts Ate My Baby.
Oh, you serious? Oh my God.
Yeah. And if you died, you had to stand up in front of the room and do a soliloquy saying why your character shouldn't die.
That's weird, dude.
Yeah.
That's downright really, really rude.
Oh, come on. It isn't.
Wow. Warhammer?
It's a card game, too. It's older than me. No, it's about 15, 16 years old. Yeah. It's a fun game.
Are you starting any new type of character coming up pretty soon? Or are you going to be running the game? Not you running the game, but you.
My new character that I'm making up is a dwarven cleric to Mordanton. That's fine.
Love these names, everybody. I really do.
He's a dwarven cleric to Mordanton. He's an expert weaponsmith, and he makes very good armor too. So, yeah, that's my new character that I'm building up right now.
Okay, my friend Kaysen, who's from Sri Lanka, he said, have you ever heard of the game Cyberpunk?
Yes. Yes. I played that. I didn't last long on that because I didn't understand it, but I had fun playing it for the year. Cyberpunk is a pretty cool thing to play. Your boy Mark Bowen plays that. Drake?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does that.
He plays Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's funny because Kaysen said it was made by Mike Pondsmith. Penny goes, yes, the characters do lead so much into the storylines and changes to the storyline game. It's fascinating, no doubt. Yeah. And my friend Kara came up with a name.
Is that
Warhammer?
Butler Kara?
What's
Was that Butler Kara?
Was that Butler Kara?
Yeah.
No, she was out in the Midwest.
Okay.
Oh, it is. And Johnny says all in fun. Yes, it is all in fun, but it just is like, sorry, my chat thingy wasn't moving, so now it should be moving. Sorry for not answering guys earlier, but now it's Penny Goes. It's a cool name. But wow, okay. So what else do they have at these gaming conventions beside games?
People come dressed up and they LARP. They, there's some people that play backgammon. True story about this backgammon. Years ago, when I was doing the circuit, if you will, I was a very good backgammon champion for about 2 years. And then the last time I was there, I played backgammon, and a 12-year-old girl beat me from Butler, PA. A 12-year-old girl beat me. And she looked at her dad, and she says, "Can I smack talk?" I was like, "Give me your best shot." So she smack talked me pretty bad, You let a 12-year-old girl beat you. And from then on, and even up that happened like about 15, 17 years ago, my friends still keep on reminding me that I was beaten by an 18-year-old girl. I mean, a 12-year-old girl from Butler in backgammon.
That's funny as hell. Kara's from Southern Illinois. Penny says, have you ever heard of the game Dungeons and Doorways?
Yes. Yes.
It was in the 1980s, but was sort of like Dungeons and Dragons, but not as good as Dungeons and Dragons. She had that old game too. What can you explain?
And those old games that she has are worth money. If she has all the parts, everything, they are worth some, cabbage or whatever, cheddar. Whatever these kids say now these days, I don't know.
I don't know either. But so what would be your ultimate Dungeons and Dragons or Vampire Masquerade experience?
A lot of them. Well, my vampire, I played a gangrel who won the Battle of the Bands. Dungeons and Dragons, there's just a lot of them. There's just my Seamus O'Connor, Tombstone. His best thing was like he was starting out, and we were in Pittsburgh at the Hilton playing when we were. I mean, we weren't there right there, and it was a vampire convention or whatever they were down there, and I wasn't really that strong, so I got my butt whooped in the men's bathroom by a regular guy, right? And I had psionics. I was a psionic. I like to blow things up. So he was in the toilet, and I blew up the toilet. He sat on the toilet, and I blew up the toilet on him. And that...
Everybody, my brother. My brother, everybody.
And that is still brought up to today, how I blew the guy up when he was sitting on the toilet.
And oh my gosh, this is like crazy. Now, I'd like to ask you, do you know of any major stars, actors, actresses, sports figures, actresses who play Dungeons and Dragons?
Vin Diesel plays. I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar plays. The dude from Magic Mike plays. Who else? Will Wheaton plays. There were some wrestlers that played, but I can't think of who they are right now. But Jason Momoa, he plays Dungeons and Dragons. Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, they all play. There's a lot of them out there. I forget the wrestlers, but some of the wrestlers actually play D&D.
Okay, so I just had this thought in my head. So, you know how I like the Prospect Gold, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when I prospect gold, I just I go out there. You know what I mean? I'm out there. My mind's on that, and the world does not exist around me. So when you are having that opportunity to play D&D, does it get you out of the world?
Yes.
Okay.
If you have problems with a fellow worker, then you talk to the game master, and he'll make up a non-player character, an NPC, and you can fight him. But in the board game, in the game, say like like, I hate my brother. I'm gonna hurt him. So what they'll do in gaming is they'll make up a character named Sean Kelly, and you can do whatever you want. We can fight and everything. So yeah. But I want to do that to you because you're the bestest brother around.
I thank you.
You are awesome.
Oh boy. Someone said that Heidi's sick. Kason, is Heidi sick? Okay, he saw Carrie, that's what I'm trying to find. Something about they a lot of people have watched the episode of Big Bang Theory. They played on Big Bang Theory show. And that girl wants to know what Jack Black plays. Those are question marks on that one.
Yeah, I think he does. I'm not too sure. I'm not all up on which actors or actresses play, but I do believe Jack Black does play. I wouldn't we'll just say yes, because he seems like the player from his movies, to like Jumanji and everything else, that he would play Dungeons and Dragons.
Carrie says that she wished they had this game when she worked in corporate. Brothers. That's right, Kevin. We are brothers. Gotta love us. But you know what? I just had this thought cross my mind. I'm a meat cutter, and now I work in seafood. And here's the greatest thing in the world. My brother, or Mike, or Ralph, I would let my brother do it. Set up a role-playing scenario with me being a meat cutter and a seafood guy. I mean, I could say it.
Well, no, like, okay, you're a meat cutter. Then all of a sudden you got this weird-looking guy coming in and just want raw meat all the time. Mm-hmm. There you go. That's a vampire character or a mentally disabled character. I want the raw meat. I want the scraps. And then,
okay.
Or you catch them on the outside wherever you throw the scraps away. You see them digging through the scraps. What would you do? What would you do?
I'd get my dice and roll. I'd roll a 20. Okay, so here we go. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Okay, we're getting into oh wow! Now I'm glad that my people brought this up. The Big Bang Theory. Would you consider them gamers, Patrick? They're characters.
Yes. Yes, I would.
Okay.
I know the one guy that plays Howard Wolowitz. I don't know what his name is, but he is definitely a gamer. I don't know about the other two, or the three. But I don't know what his name is. I'm sorry.
What age? Don't be sorry. You're all right. This is radio. So, what age would you recommend a person to start off playing Dungeons and
Probably,
Dragons?
I forget who said it earlier, but to do most the skills, social skills, I would start anywhere, 8 years old, 9, 10. But make it a fun game. Make them make up a character, and they go into the save chickens, and they go into Candyland, and they have to save chickens in Candyland, and they have to use different types of ways to get the chickens that are in Candyland before they get eaten.
Oh, cool.
So they'll have.
I think Carrie is starting a little scenario for you, Patrick. She says, no, the vampire needs the raw meat for the werewolf who drives the Red Cross blood truck for his blood supply need. Think critically here.
See what she's doing, and she's thinking way outside the box, because vampires and werewolves do not get along.
Penny says that's a great idea for kids.
Yeah.
But if you're the game master and you just want to do something different, could you not have the vampires and werewolves work together?
Yeah, you could, because technically in the beginning, that's what the werewolves were there for, protection. When the vampires would sleep during the day, the werewolves would look after them.
So they
And
were
then-
no pun
Yeah,
intended.
basically like that. Yeah. I don't know. That's the furthest I go back. I'm not really into. That's a whole nother show for you, Sean.
Yeah, of course it is. But listen, you know what? I am going to take that third break, and we're going to come back with Patrick and finish up, and I will pull some cards for everybody. So we'll see you in a couple minutes. There, we can go with this one again.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of Native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. The final edition or the final session of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. Again, I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, for allowing me to give you 2 shows a week, Sunday and Tuesday nights. My Sunday night show is from 8:10 to 10:10 p.m., and my Tuesday night show is from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. There's a couple people here who have written some stuff down. Kaysen wants to know, okay, this is funny. But Kaysen wants to know, wait a minute, Patrick personally knows Simon Helberg, Howard Wolowitz. Do you know Simon Helberg, Pat?
Who's that?
That's the guy who plays Wolowitz on Big Bang Theory.
No, I don't know.
And Penny says, back when I was growing up, there was a legend circulating that had all the kids afraid to attempt to play the game. And that legend was if you played the game, you would disappear. But it was just a legend, but it had a whole bunch of people afraid to play it first. And then they got over their fears and tested it themselves by playing. But that's a true story back in those days.
There was also Tom Hanks did a movie years ago, I think Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not too sure. You can look that up, but that had a lot of doing with what we were just talking about.
Wasn't that the Da Vinci Code you played in?
No, that wasn't it. This is a young Tom Hanks.
Okay. Oh, boy, this has
Well, I
been a
want
great
to thank
show.
everybody that came in here today. Y'all are fabulous. You know, you got my blessings for being fabulous. You know,
Well,
I
sorry.
send you my.
Hold on a second, bro. Kara says, oh, go ahead. She's on a roll, dude. Go ahead. She's saying 6'7". Oh, my God, girl. Oh, my God. Kara. Sorry, everyone, but I just had to say
Lock
something
it.
before today.
Lock
This
it.
weekend is officially over.
Lock it. Don't forget to lock it. You know.
Oh, gosh, I don't know. But go ahead, Pat. Finish up what you're saying.
You know. I work with teenagers. Yes. Well, I don't remember now because I just went. My brain fried when she went
You were
6'7".
thanking everybody for listening.
Oh yeah, thanks everybody. Again, the biggest thing is that if you're going to be a newbie, even if you're an oldie, use your imagination. That's just it. Yeah, that is your number one thing is to use your imagination. Write down whatever you want to write down. Make your own story. Write your own short story. Write your own book. But the last thing you got to remember is that it is fantasy. You don't, after you're done, again, you know, drinking your last bit of Mountain Dew, eating the chips, and your last casting a spell into darkness when you go attack the darkness. People understand, gamers will understand that. Just leave it there until the following week. It is just fantasy. It is not reality. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, there's a couple other questions that just popped into my brain. But Penny McCann says, thanks, Patrick. You too have our blessings. Kara says, I have an almost 12-year-old. And Carrie goes, that just flew over my head, Kara. Huh? Oh, my gosh. They're on a roll tonight. I love my people. So have you known anybody that have actually went to the dark side by playing D&D?
Am I allowed to say?
Don't say names. Just say, do you know?
Yes.
Okay. And
A
have they ever
couple.
came out of that?
I don't know. I don't deal with them. Once they went that stupid, I don't deal with them anymore. I'm no.
Now, can you be possessed and not realize that you playing Dungeons and Dragons? Can you get?
I'm sure
possessed
there's
by-
an opportunity. I mean, I'm sure and anything can happen. I mean, that'll be more in your area, about being possessed and stuff like that. But again, it's your mindset. If you have a feeble mind, then yeah, you might think you're being possessed and then you're doing stupid stuff. But if you have a strong mind and a good will and just to leave it, then yeah, it's just a game. That's all it is. It is another form of entertainment.
So I'm want to know what's your theory on the Ouija board?
I have, my theory on the Ouija board is I'm going to keep it to myself. I don't have no disrespect to anybody. I'm not disrespecting anybody, but no, I'm not going to even venture into that territory.
Okay, not a problem. The reason why I asked that question, because I don't know, it just popped into mind, first of all. Second of all, to me, doing the Ouija board would not be Dungeons and Dragons, but on the same length or the same.
No, I'm sorry, Sean. I'm not being disrespectful to you, but
no.
Totally
I'm asking you.
No, they're no.
Kaysen. Carrie goes, very wise to have boundaries. Yes, absolutely. Kaysen says, I think I'm possessed by Arthur Morgan in RDR2. And Penny says, yes, well respected. So how can people find you if they wanted to talk more about D&D with you, Pat?
I don't know. I'm a boomer.
You and your boomer shit. I thought we were called Joneses.
Yeah, I don't know. They can get through you. I don't work on the computer. I have an Instagram with no friends. I have Facebook with one friend, and that's Sean. So I really, they can contact me through you, and then we can set something up through Messenger or something on that lines, because I'm willing to talk. I love talking. I'm Irish, storyteller.
Yes, you do. You love to talk. I know that for a fact, dude. Kevin says 6626 was trippy. Yeah, that was kind of trippy. But honestly, when she went 6767, that just took me.
Yes, I know.
That was.
She's showing off her riz.
Hey, one day we'll have another show where we'll get teenagers on with my brother, and then we'll start talking all the slang words that they use nowadays.
Facts. That's fire. That means good. Fire is good. All right. And facts is you're telling the truth. Facts.
All right, brother. Listen, that was nice having you. Casey
all right.
says,
Peace out, everybody. You guys are fabulous. I'll see you again whenever. Bye.
All right. Thank you again, Patrick, for coming on. Don't hit the red X.
Just show me out of the room.
Okay, hold on. Let me get you out. There you go. All right. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. Penny says, thanks, Patrick. And Penny says she still doesn't know, and she has a lot of couple teenage daughters or young adult daughters. But what I want to do before, we close up, before I draw the card. All right. Thank you, Penny. So people are talking about the 1980s. I think it was Joni that brought it up. I'm not done yet, Kevin. You know how to leave yet, brother. No. Nope. I'm just joking. If you got to go, brother, you got to go. But yes, during the 1980s, the Satanic Panic, many Christians, including some Catholic groups and clergy members, attempted to restrict or ban the game. However, these were localized efforts by concerned individuals and organizations rather than an official global ban by the Catholic Church. The 1980s, what's Kevin saying here? Oh, yeah, I don't got to go. That's right, you don't have to go yet, brother. During the height of the morale panic, some critics and religious organizations, most notably the group of the Brother about Dungeons and Dragons, claimed the game was an occult tool. The accusations, critics argued that the fantasy elements, such as magic and demons, promoted Satanism, witchcraft, and self-harm. And the consequences, some parents burned their children's rule books, while a few schools and local community centers enacted outright bans on the game. The official Catholic stance, the Vatican, and the central leadership of the Catholic Church have never issued an official ban or doctrinal condemnation of Dungeons and Dragons. The game was even being embraced by many Catholics, with priests and theologians noting that it is no different from reading works of fiction like The Lord of the Rings, which was famously written by devout Catholic J.R.R. Tolkien. Today, the game is largely viewed by the Church as a morally neutral tool for collaboration storytelling and imagination play. While some highly conservative figures or exorcists may still caution against it, many practicing Catholics and even men in religious formation at various seminaries play the game openly. That's interesting. I'll tell you what, this was a great show, and I'm glad my brother came on because I was really lost, and I liked how my brother answered your questions out there, and it was just awesome. It was great. Hopefully I can have him back on again. Hey, Joe Fox, good to see you, brother. Good to see you, my friend. But it was a good show, and I'm going to draw a couple cards here for everybody. Thank you, Carrie. Appreciate it. Thank you. Carrie says it was a good conversation. Thank you. Yeah, I feel good about. I felt really good about it. Too bad it's so damn hot out. But I am shuffling the cards. Penny says very interesting indeed. But yes, that's what happened in the '80s. Yes, you both were great. Great show. Thank you, Penny. I appreciate it. So I'm shuffling the cards. And the first card that I'm going to be pulling, I got to cut it first. Joe Fox says he's disappointed. Don't worry, just go back and listen to it, dude. Carrie says I already was interested to play D&D, but finding people to play tabletop is challenging. Well, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is, Carrie. Hopefully you can find somebody that does play tabletop. But okay, I shuffled the cards and I cut the deck. Okay, and the first card I'm pulling is the Whale. Okay, the Whale. Where are we at here? The Whale. Oh, well, okay, Kara. Welcome back. So I just started pulling the cards, Kara. I pulled the first card, which is a Whale. And according to the animal totem card, the Whale is like a library. And it has just so much information that it has stored inside it. So if we're going to run this as a reading, the first thing I pick up is that whoever this reading's for is that they're very intelligent and they also have a lot of knowledge that is stored inside them. And then you know how the whale keeps swimming in the water, right? And it goes long distances. So I believe this card is you just swimming and waiting to unleash all this information to people. The second one is the grouse. Okay. And the grouse, what that dude does, okay, when I look at that card, the grouse just walks around, pecking at little spiders and mites and, cleans up all the insects and stuff like that. And I think the whale is wanting, or the grouse is looking at the whale um, for all the information on how the grouse can continue feeding itself and more interested in feeding, like taking care of themselves. And that's what the whale is for, giving the information to the grouse that needs to move on and maybe do something different in your life, to where the grouse is right there helping you try to find your way. But you have to, you know what I mean. Kevin says, I got the fish, deer, and the horse tonight. Those are very good ones, guys. Carrie says, he says, go to the back of the throat, or he wants a root beer. Oh, God, Carrie, it's getting old now, dude. A grouse. A grouse is, let me look it up for you, Kev. A grouse, it's a bird. Let me find it for you, buddy. A grouse is like a group of medium-sized chicken-like birds in the pheasant family, known for their camouflage and elaborate courtship displays, which includes males drumming their wings and displaying colorful neck feathers for their sex. Found across the northern hemisphere in forests, moorlands, and mountains, they are popular game birds, and species like the ruffed grouse being widespread in North America. Their diet consists of plants, insects, and seeds, and they are known for their territorial behavior, especially during mating season. Ah, okay. I'm glad you said okay. All right, now the last one is the otter, and they're vicious. The otters are vicious, and I don't have a good feeling about the cards that I pulled tonight. Because with me, I look at the otter, and it, especially at the right, in that you're just swimming and you just want to kill everything and eat it. So you got the whale that has all the information that gave it to the grouse, who, was like doing some mating stuff. You guys going to have a baby soon. Maybe someone's having a baby. That's why the grouse showed up. That's why the male grouse is out there like picking at insects and stuff in order to feed babies. I don't know. But what scares me the most is the otter. The otter I don't like in this reading at all, because the otter is like vicious in this reading that I got, which is the future card. So if you're just going and starting a family, just be careful and don't get angry at each other. And that's the way I see this reading tonight. A couple of things. A grouse is a game bird having a hard time talking to girls. Thanks, Casey. Kevin said it's like a cut off feeling. Yeah, it's what it is. Thank you, Kevin, for that. It's a cut off. Like, I don't know. I don't like the vibe I got off the otter card when I pulled it. Carrie says, now I see them all as D&D characters. The otter is soupish. She says, kidding, I love otters. Makes sense, Sean. Forewarning. Thank you, buddy. Kevin, I'm glad somebody else can pick up on this, because sometimes I don't want to, see or say what I want to say, but I usually do say. But it was kind of confusing because you had two decent cards pulled, then the otter. Kara says, otter's her daughter's favorite sea animal, and they're so cute and cuddly. Yeah, but you get the opportunity, they like chomp, 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 chomp. You know what I mean? Well, everybody, it is 10 o'clock p.m., and it's time to get ready to go. I hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. My brother did a fantastic job. And we'll see what happens on Tuesday. I don't know what I'm going to do for Tuesday, but eventually I'll find something to talk about, and we're going to have some more fun. On that note, children, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents and if you have no children, find someone, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And please remember, protect the children. And on that note, good night, everybody. I'm glad you enjoyed the show, and I will see you Tuesday night.